Good morning. Today I'm going to go and street perform, however I feel like doing things a little bit differently today, have a bit of a change. I'm not going to tell you, you can just come with me, you'll see what I mean. I have arrived in Brighton. Brighton's a really nice seaside town. It's about an hour and a half away from London south on the train. So I've got here just because I fancied a bit of a change. I thought it'd be a nice place to street perform. My friend Morph said it's particularly good here, so hopefully it'll be good for me, and I'm gonna give it a go. So my buddy Morph recommended this general area to street perform, which would be pretty good, but I think these trucks being there may sort of, actually maybe there is space. Either way, I'm gonna go try down by the beach and see if that's good, because I don't want to miss out the opportunity of performing right by the sea if that is better, but if not, I'll come back here and try a show. This is such a nice town. If I had to move somewhere else that wasn't London in England, then maybe I'd go with Brighton, because it's just so pretty. This isn't even like the prettiest spot. I say this while walking by this building, which isn't so nice, but generally it's a really nice place. I don't want to risk this becoming one of those days where I just wander around for hours trying to find the best spot to perform and then never actually do any performing. And that's kind of how I feel like right now. Just been walking along the coast for ages. Oh, it's getting busier along here. And then I'm just like, oh, maybe here's perfect. But I don't really want to perform next to a road. I don't know. I'm unsure right now. It's really windy, but it's really busy here, and although the path's not as wide as I ideally have, I think this is probably as good as it's going to get around this spot, so I might as well just give it a go. Just getting ready to do a show, and I just got crapped on by a bird right on the back of the head. I was setting up to do a show near the pier, and then a bird crapped on the back of my head. So I had to walk all the way to the nearest casino and then, yeah, sort myself out. Right, so I'm back outside the Brighton shopping centre. I'm gonna go and try and do a show now. I don't think it's gonna go that well, to be honest, but I'm just gonna give it a try. Along the beach, it's just way too windy, and I know that's just gonna mess with the microphone, so that's a bit of a shame. So I'm gonna give it a try here, where it's a bit quieter and less windy, and hopefully it won't be a total catastrophe. Right, I'm all good to go. I genuinely feel a little bit nervous right now. It just keeps having really quiet spells, and I just have a feeling this could go terribly. I'm feeling very optimistic today, aren't I? All right, let's give this a shot. Ugh. So I did a little show there, and that was a pretty tough show. The crowd kind of formed a bit, but yeah, it was a little bit of a tough show. And then security came over towards the end of the show. Apparently this whole area is private, and if you've seen my previous video regards to performing in the South Bank, you'll know that us street performers, well, a lot of us have opinions about public space that's privately owned and you can still perform there. If I was feeling awkward, I potentially would argue this and just be like, well, I'm going to perform here anyway and see what would happen. However, genuinely, because it's fairly quiet and that wasn't a massively successful show, I don't think it's really worth me having that argument. So I just said, yeah, I'll move. They suggested a couple of potential places. I'm going to wander around a little bit more, but so far it's not been so successful today. But hey, that's part of the thing, part of the joys of busking in new places. And Brighton is a beautiful town to be in. So things that my mood's increased now because I had a nice fun show. But yeah, so let's see how we get on. So I've got to the place where people recommended that I go, and there was another performer here, and I just waited for him to finish his set, and then he's gone off. And then someone came up to me as I was setting up, and they told me that I can't busk here with an amp because it's not allowed. And I was like, well, public space, it is allowed. And then they were like, no, there's a sign. So literally, there is a sign. And genuinely, the rule here is no amplifiers. In this case, they actually have a law. You know how I'm often on about how you can perform anywhere, like you can use an amp, blah, blah, blah. Well, there are bylaws in cities where sometimes they genuinely get a law in place to stop you doing things, and in this case, they have a law against having an amplifier. I'm running out of options. Hi there, I just called Brighton Council and they've put me through to you guys. Although I'm not sure if this is the correct department, but I'll ask my question anyway. I'm just inquiring about the laws regarding street performing in Brighton. I can't tell whether or not the law, whether it's illegal to busk with an amplifier, whether it's just sort of, if you use an amplifier you may cause a nuisance, and then causing a nuisance is illegal. Which kind of reminds me of the whole stuff in London, how, and in the country in general, how you're allowed to make reasonable use of a public space provided you're not stopping the businesses from running. It's like, is it that? Is it like, oh, it's fine, just use an amp as long as I don't, you know, cause valid complaints and fine? Or is it like, no, Brighton set up a special law that makes it illegal to busk in London, in Brighton? And that's what I don't know. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, I count quite slowly. Hey man, how you doing?
I'm good.
I know, yeah, we both went the same direction. Oh, how you doing?
It's Brighton, man. Yeah, it's great.
It's Brighton.
Oh gosh. So yeah, I've already seen like 2 buskers.
I mean, but have you?
Why would I lie? There's no motive for me here other than to like big up my city.
This is where I came originally and then left. Because I got shat on by a seagull. My friend Owen.
Hello.
There you are. Is this zoomed in? It's just my friend Owen. None of this is going to be usable because of the wind, but we'll make it work.
You need to put like a little fluffy thing over the mic and then it...
I do have that. Anyway, you messaged me this morning being like, oh, you're going to Brighton? Yeah. I don't live that far from there.
Yeah.
Now the internet knows where you live. Let me know, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because I was feeling a bit disheartened. Is that the word?
Yes, yeah, disheartened.
Disheartened.
This is a good... This right here.
Yeah,
What's wrong with this? Look, you've got the beach, you've got food down there, there's a lot of footfall. You can easily
well,
set up a crowd.
I got shat on by a seagull, so I was like, this isn't for me.
If you give me your mic, I will start the show, and then we'll see. And I'm more willing to do that.
Well, maybe I should start one. This looks way more workable.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you want to watch me do a really crap street show?
Yes.
Yeah?
I mean, not a crap one. I want it to be good.
Oh.
I didn't pay £3.20 to get to the station.
Well, I have successfully not made my train fare back yet.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really shown people the busking gear, so you guys can check this out. So this is the inverter. This acts as like a plug socket, and then you plug in the things that you need to power.
Right.
This then connects to a battery. This is a lithium battery. It's kind of like a car battery. We've literally got cables there. Do you want to see some sparks?
Yeah.
Sparks. I probably shouldn't do that, it could explode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then that allows you to plug in amps and stuff, so plug in that little badger.
There you go.
And then this is my receiver. This is for the microphone, so
signal.
Yeah, it's huge, but my old setup used to be way smaller, but this one is just a better audio experience for everyone.
Lovely little box you got there. Nice little...
Yeah, this is like an old box that Joker sold me, because I needed something to store stuff, you know what boxes are for.
Yeah, that's why you use boxes.
That's how we roll with boxes.
So there's 2 different port wireless frequencies, I guess.
I actually have no idea how this works. Maybe take a bow and stop. One last thing. It was a nice, happy, fun individual.
That was stereotypically Brighton, the way that whenever you're like, hey, and we're like, hey.
Yeah, people respond. You should see Leicester Square sometimes,
yeah?
And you're like, everybody, are you with me? And they're like,
That was awesome. That was the first time I've ever seen your show.
Oh, thank you very
truly
much.
Truly great work, seriously.
You recorded?
Yeah. What did she say?
She walked by and just went, wanker. And went, I'm joking. She did it with such a loving smile. I was like, alright.
Steve's about to do his last show, and
the sun is going down, so I think we've got one time.
hopefully it'll go well, but there is not a lot of people right now. You can see
have a happy
just
fun
by the
show
crowd.
time.
But you'll see how well he builds a crowd, it's very impressive. Hey!
Oh, hold on.
Just to conclude this video, we did 3 shows here and it went way better. That was much more fun. That made it kind of definitely worth a trip. Check out Owen's channel, I'll link him in the description.
Oh, thanks,
he does
man.
magic as well.
Cheers.
And he's good.
Lots of tune.
It's a couple of days later and I've just been reviewing the Brighton footage and I realised I didn't really sum up how I felt the day had gone or give any comments about busking in Brighton in general, so I thought I'd do that now. I personally feel that Brighton is not a very busker-friendly town, and here's why. Firstly, one good spot outside the shopping centre is private property and security guards are going to hassle you if you try and perform there, so that eliminates that as an option. The streets in Brighton are pretty narrow, so there's not many places where you can actually do a show. Musicians might be alright there in some spots, but generally there's not many places you can do a show. The only street I found in the actual town itself that was good was quite a wide street, and then you weren't allowed to use amplification. And I can't quite tell whether or not Brighton just doesn't want you to use amps or whether or not they've actually made a law to stop using amps, but either way, that does not make it very good for a circle performer like myself. And then the only other performing option where I did manage to crack out a few shows was by the pier, which was okay, a bit too windy, not that big. You certainly couldn't do a big unicycle show there like my other friends. So it wasn't that good. I will say that I personally found the people of Brighton to be quite nice when I was performing there. There was, you know, nice, happy, friendly crowds, which is always good. But generally the wind in that area makes it kind of difficult to do performances unless it's not windy. And then getting crapped on by 2 different seagulls on 2 different occasions. Not good, not good. Overall, I may go back one day in the summertime. It might open up a few spots just by the beach and try it out just for a bit of a change, but I feel like I could have just found an empty street somewhere in London which was wide enough and done a lot of shows there, and it probably would have been a little bit more profitable. So generally it wasn't a massively successful day, but always nice to try new things, and now I can also say that I have busked outside of London. I've not just stayed in London busking. Alright, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you! I just got shot on by a bird for the 2nd time in practice.
Let's see. Oh,
It's like they bombed my street.
oh, it got me.
I'm not welcome here.
It got me as well. The collateral damage. I thought it was hail. It got the lemons.
Damn it.
Oh, it totally got you.